Hi everyone. By the end of this class, you'll be able to express expectations, particularly cultural expectations. For example, you'll learn how to answer the following question. What are you supposed to do when you go out on a first date? The answer to that question can be, well, in the US, when you go out on a first date, you aren't supposed to kiss him or her. And just like the image that you see at this time, what are you supposed to do when you shake someone's hand in the US? What are you supposed to do when you shake someone's hand in, let's say, Japan? And the answer to that question is much different. So that's what we're going to learn in this particular class, how to structure those ideas together. Let me quickly present the structure that we're going to follow at this time. What you're going to see is that we're going to express the expectations. We're going to have some sort of situation, and then we're going to express the expectation with either supposed to or it's the custom to, either you're supposed to or you're not supposed to. And so let's look at the examples at this time. When you visit someone, it's the custom to bring a small gift. Of course, this depends on the situation. You aren't supposed to arrive early. And again, this varies among different cultures. Um, if you want to bring someone, you're expected to call first and ask. You're supposed to check with the host. It's not acceptable to arrive without calling first. So let's try to understand this particular idea here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write the structure, and I'm also going to borrow one of these examples that you see there. Um, Let me just make this a little bigger. 1 second here. All right. I think I should have. All right. So what I want to do at this point is just point out the following. That the structure, the way that it works is either we're going to use an when or an if clause. And what do I mean by a when clause? Well, it's this situation that I mentioned here at the beginning. When you visit someone, right? If you want to bring someone, that's what I refer to when I say a when or an if clause. That's what should be here at the beginning. After that, you should include a subject. In this case, the subject is you. All right. So the expectation is when you visit someone and then you, then it's gonna follow the verb to be. The verb to be can be either in its positive form, it could be negative. In this case, it happens to be that it's on its negative form. So when you visit someone, you aren't. Then this is gonna follow supposed to. You aren't supposed to, and then it's going to follow the verb. So in this case, the verb is arrive. Okay. You aren't supposed to arrive early. And then finally, it should follow the complement. Let me give an example with another clause. So in this case, I'll use an if clause. So I'm going to say if the service in a restaurant is good, okay, that's the if clause. Okay, then this I mentioned is going to follow the subject. Okay, you're um, supposed to. Okay, and then that's going to follow the verb. So you're supposed to leave a tip, and then there's going to be some sort of complement. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and color this in green just so that you can see that this is the when or the if clause. So in this case, it's the if clause that I'm using. So let me just quickly point that out, right? After that follows the subject and the verb. In this case, the verb to be. I mentioned that the subject and the verb to be can either be positive or it could be plural. So in that particular case, what you see there is that I'm using a contraction, right? So that's the subject and the contraction of that verb. And then we use supposed to. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and color that in its appropriate color, the one that I chose. And then it follows the verb, right? And then whatever complement that you wanted to choose. So this is my opinion and the opinion of many people. If the service in a restaurant is good, you're supposed to leave a tip. Again, this varies among different cultures, and in some cultures, it's not the custom to leave any tip whatsoever, right?
Let me go ahead and give another example here. What I'm going to say is when you go out with friends to dinner, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the subject a little bit. I'm going to say it's, and instead of supposed to, I will say it's acceptable to split the bill. So there are other examples that you can see here. We can use it's the custom, right? You can use it's acceptable or it's not acceptable. I mentioned that this can be positive or negative. You're expected to, which is an example that I did not give, but um, it would follow that expression and then it follows the verb. But all of them you should be able to form simply by following this structure that I put here. So what I would like for you to do now is I would like for you to think about lots of cultural aspects from your country. For example, what are you supposed to do when you're invited to a wedding? What are you supposed to do before you get married? And then you want to share what's the custom, what are you supposed to do, what are you expected to do, and then make lots of different sentences related to cultural aspects.